NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Tuesday, May 30th. Before I get started, link is in the description below. You can sign up for PrizePicks there, or you can use promo code TUFF. 100% deposit match. Discord link in the description. The main server is completely free. We do also have that Patreon link in there as well, where I do post all the plays here that I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play. Again, I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making, hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get into it, you guys. We have a nice size 4-game WNBA slate today. I got 2 plays that I am targeting from this slate here overall. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. So the first one is going to be a fantasy score here, and it's going to be Collier. I'm taking her over 34.5 here against the Dallas Wings. Now, taking a look at the scores, or I guess the spreads for these games, this is a 6-point spread. We look at the Fever and the Sun as a 12.5-point spread for Connecticut, and then this New York Liberty versus Storm is a 14.5-point spread. So targeting this game here specifically because hopefully this game does remain close. Obviously, blowout risk in the WNBA is very, very real if you've been betting on WNBA for a while now. But taking a look at her last 5, she's over this in 3 of her last 5, but 3 of her last 4. Has cleared this over in 3 of 4 games in the regular season so far. We take a look here. The only miss came against Phoenix, where she finished still with 8-7, 4-2 and 1, 2 turnovers, only took 9 field goal attempts, which in the previous other 3 games she's taken at least 14 field goal attempts. She just had 21-10, 2 and 1 on 18 of 17 shooting against a very tough Las Vegas front court, and she finished with 40 fantasy points in that game. Now, we're talking about Nafisa Collier as a player. Like 2 seasons ago, she's a 2-time All-Star, missed quite a bit of time last season. I think maternity, personal reasons, she didn't play a lot of the season, but now she's getting back, really regaining that conditioning here, and has been playing extremely well for the Minnesota Lynx. Taking a look more specifically at this matchup versus the Dallas Wings, against forwards, right? Dallas allows the fifth most points per game to forwards, the 4th most blocks to forwards, the 7th most steals to forwards, the 5th most rebounds to forwards. We take a look at assists as well. 6th most assists, and then overall opponent field goal attempts. Dallas Wings the 5th most field goal attempts to the forward position. But more specifically, we take a look at the matchups that Dallas has had against forwards. Now, Alana Smith, right? 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 14, 12, 6, and 2 blocks, right? Who's the forward for the Chicago Sky against Dallas. We take a look at this next matchup, the Seattle Storm. Eze McBagor, we actually took this play, had 15, 12, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks as the offensive big for Seattle against Dallas. And then we take a look at the Atlanta Dream. Cheyenne Parker had 18, 11, 3 assists, 3 steals. And then Nia Coffey also had 3 points and 4 blocks. So front court, players in the front court have been extremely successful here against the Dallas Wings all season long. I think Nafisa Collier, this line is just a little bit too low for her at 34.5. Has hit this in 3 of her last 4 games. And I really like how she makes an impact defensively. You can see here has had at least 3 stocks in every single game this season. Had 5 against Chicago, 3 against Atlanta, 3 against Phoenix, and 3 against Las Vegas here. Again, a 6-point spread in this matchup. Minnesota obviously trying to get that first win of the season here. And I think overall the Dallas Wings give up a ton of offense and production to the bigs and then kind of limit the guards. So I definitely think that benefits Nafisa Collier here tonight. 34.5, I'm taking the over on this one. And then the second play is going to be an assist prop here, and it's going to be the under. I'm taking the under on McDonald at 3.5 assists here. She's hit the over on this only once over her last 5 games this season. And if we take a look at a little bit deeper dive here, so McDonald is averaging 3.3 assists per game, right? That's only through 3 games, and 1 game she did have 6 assists at Minnesota. But just played Indiana Fever at home and only finished with 3 assists and just hasn't really been playing that well. I'm not really sure if it's a confidence issue, but we're talking about the 3rd overall pick in 2021 draft. But dating back to last season, right? This is last season's game log for McDonald. I mean, she had a span of, the entire month of July where she only hit the over on this in 1 game against Connecticut. Even dating back to, she kind of lost some confidence here, but I think she actually averages a little bit more assists on the road compared to even at home. Now, ESPN doesn't really give splits here. I'm not really sure why, but even dating back to last season, she only averaged 2.6 assists per game. Even the season before that, her rookie year, only 2 assists per game. And then we kind of look at how opponents have played against the Chicago Sky. Now, the Chicago Sky on the season are allowing the 4th fewest assists to guards in the WNBA. We take a look at the Phoenix Mercury, who played Chicago Sky not that long ago. Those guards for the Phoenix Mercury, I mean, obviously Diana Taurasi had 6 assists, but those 2 other guards, which is kind of the role that Ari McDonald plays in this Atlanta Dream offense, 2 assists for Mariah Jefferson and 2 assists for Sophia Cunningham. And then also Chicago Sky played the Minnesota Lynx. And you can see here for those guards, Kayla McBride 1 assist, Banham 2 assists, and Diamond Miller 2 assists. So we saw, we've seen couple times now Chicago Sky limiting those ball handling guards to low assist numbers here. So Ari McDonald, 1 of her last 5 games, has hit the over in this. Just in general, in my opinion, just a kind of rule of thumb when betting on WNBA, assists are kind of tough in the NBA or in any basketball setting, but WNBA assists come a little bit harder. And if you kind of watch how WNBA games are played, in my opinion at least, it's a lot of ISO ball, and a lot of shots are actually scored not from assists, right? If we just take a look in general, I mean, WNBA, I mean, we're talking about opponent assists. I mean, the Seattle Storm are allowing the most opponent assists per game, and that's only 14.8. So, you're expecting the league-leading team at 14.8 assists per game. Ari McDonald at 4 just seems a little bit too high, in my opinion here, especially considering, I mean, if we just kind of break down how, these lineups are being ran, right? This game, for example, against Indiana at home, the first home game of the season for Atlanta, Ryan Howard is that predominant ball handler, along with Alicia Gray. So there's not a lot of time or a lot of opportunity for Ari McDonald to have the ball in her hands a ton. And then Alicia Durr and Jones also come off the bench. You can see here Jones had 2 assists in only 10 minutes. So I like Ari McDonald under assists, Nafisa Collier over 34.5 fantasy. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these 2 plays. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.